Hi there. Today I'm working on another part of my composition, and I wanted to show you an interesting technique I discovered spontaneously. How you can make a sphere. I have a plaster mold in the shape of a half sphere, but since I need to make many of these elements, I found a way to speed up the process. I place a piece of cloth inside the mold, take a blank I threw on the wheel yesterday, and place it into the mold. When I was throwing the blanks on the wheel, I intentionally made their walls a bit thicker, so that later I could stretch them into the mold and shape them into a perfect sphere. Now I'll show you how I do it. I threw the sphere with the bottom, even though I don't actually need it. I did that so the shape would hold better when I took it off the wheel to keep it from deforming. Now that the piece is firm enough, I no longer need the bottom, so I cut it off. Next, I start stretching the walls of the blank into the mold from the inside, beginning at the very bottom and gradually moving upward. What's the advantage of using fabric in this technique? It lets me easily flip the piece by simply pulling on the cloth, especially useful when I've shaped the bottom part and want to start working on the top. Since the fabric always stays between the clay and the plaster, I can keep adjusting different areas of the form without it sticking or losing shape. Now I'm going to speed up the video and come back to you once I've finished stretching the form and ended up with a nice, smooth sphere. So this is how you can achieve perfectly shaped sphere, because throwing a truly perfect one on the wheel is actually quite difficult. In my case, I don't need to close it completely, since I'll be attaching another element on top. But if you do want to fully enclose the sphere, you can add more clay, rotate the form inside the mold, and keep stretching the added clay to maintain that round shape. Once it's all in place, you can close it up and smooth the surface. Of course, the fabric leaves some texture behind, folds and creases, but I don't think that's a big problem. You can easily smooth them out or even use them as a decorative element in your design. Just a little trick, nothing groundbreaking, but maybe it'll come in handy for someone and help with your next piece. I'm going to keep building the elements of my composition. See you next time.